Hey guys, it's Dinohunter here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about axolotls. Let's go, I'm excited for this one. So, axolotls are a unique species of salamander that is well known around the world because of its appearances in various media. Their scientific name is Ambystoma mexicanum, with the common name coming from the Aztec deity Xolotl. They have many unique features that we will discuss now. But first, let's talk about their habitat and distribution. Axolotls are endemic, meaning that they are only found to Lake Xochimilco and Lake Chalco in the Valley of Mexico. Lake Chalco was drained because of flood control reasons, and Lake Xochimilco is much smaller than it used to be. The water in Lake Xochimilco can get up to 20 degrees Celsius, that's 68 degrees Fahrenheit, but can drop to as low as 6 degrees Celsius, that's 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, their diet. The axolotl is considered a carnivore. They will eat mollusks, worms, insects, other arthropods, and small fish in the wild. They usually locate prey using their sense of smell. Once located, they suck the prey into their stomachs using vacuum force. So now we get into their unique features. First is their development. The axolotl is strange in terms of amphibians as it reaches adulthood without going through metamorphosis. When amphibians go through metamorphosis, they usually use their gills and go onto land. However, because axolotls do not go through this, they stay in the water with their gills. The reason for this is that axolotls do not have the thyroid-stimulating hormone which would be necessary for metamorphosis. But now, let's talk about artificial metamorphosis. Axolotls can go through metamorphosis if they are given the necessary hormone. Although they don't produce it naturally, they can be given it from an external source. When induced, axolotls start living on land and develop several features that help it live on land, such as muscle tone in its limbs, frozen gills absorbing in the body, getting eyelids, lungs developing further, and the skin changing to allow them to stay hydrated more easily on land. This is strongly discouraged and it can result in the death for the animal. Now let's talk about their colors. Axolotls can come in a variety of colors. Here are the most common ones, and if you want to see some more, just look in the top left. The first is leucistic. The animal is pale pink, almost white, and has black eyes. Then is xanthic. This is a gray color with black eyes. Next is albino. This is also a pale pink or almost white color, but it has red eyes. Last is melanoid. It is all black or dark blue with no speckling. Now let's talk about their regeneration. Axolotls don't heal by scarring like we do. They can regenerate appendages, limbs, their tail, and even their central nervous system and tissues of the eyes and heart, and even less vital parts of the brain in just a matter of months. They can have parts transplanted and can regenerate an appendage, and generate an additional one, having one extra than normal. You can see a picture of an axolotl with an extra leg in the top right. The ability to regenerate is greatly reduced in axolotls that have gone through artificial metamorphosis. Next, their senses. Axolotls have a very poor sense of eyesight, as they wouldn't need to see much at the bottom of a dark, muddy lake, which they would be found in the wild. They can sense sound frequencies, which is basically the equivalent of hearing, although not through ears, instead through their mouths and lungs. They rely mainly on their sense of smell, which is strong enough to allow it to sense prey in those dark and muddy conditions. Next, let's talk about how they can shine under UV light. Axolotls can become fluorescent under UV light. Some axolotls are genetically engineered to express a green fluorescent protein, or GFP, when exposed to UV light, which becomes especially noticeable when you turn off the lights, like you can see in that picture at the bottom. Axolotls that have been modified in this way are often called GFP axolotls. Next, their threats. As mentioned before, the draining of the lakes that this animal used to call home has had a huge impact on it, and the only lake that it currently inhabits, Lake Xochimilco, is now more like a series of canals than a lake. Additionally, the water quality in Lake Xochimilco is terrible, The only way it is sustained is by inputs of partially treated wastewater, and pesticides and insecticides also pollute this water. Invasive species also threaten axolotls by eating their eggs and young, and outcompeting them for natural resources, forcing axolotls to become less active to avoid being eaten. Because of the lack of individuals, there is a lack of genetic diversity. This could lead to serious inbreeding problems. All of these factors have led to morphological, behavioral, and activity abnormalities in the surviving population. They are listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List and Appendix 2 on CITES, almost the worst possible labels. There has been an effort to re-establish axolotls by introducing captive individuals that were raised in a semi-natural environment into the wild. This is a huge and successful step in saving this species. And with that, it brings us to the end of this video about these really weird creatures. I mean, they're so interesting and unique, aren't they? I hope that you enjoy it, I hope that you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!